Hello YouTube and welcome to Full Dottle, a channel dedicated to tamping topics such as pipes, tobacco, lore, and more. I am your host, the Bearded Briarman, and without further ado, let's get lit. Welcome back everyone, and on this episode of Full Dottle, I'm going to be telling you a little story about how squirrels tried to kill me one day. But first, a little housekeeping. I'm smoking my Missouri Meerschaum Country Gentleman with a forever stem, and in it I've got some Cornell and Dill's Blue Ridge. So just a little announcement real quick. Last Saturday, I finished the Full Dottle Original Blend Home Blending Series for blend number 2. We got to version 3 before I felt like it was completed. At the end of that video, I opened up a drawing. Anybody who wishes to receive a sample of it, for them to go down into the comments and put on there that they would like a sample, and then we will hold next Cobb Tuesday, we will hold a drawing for it. And I think I said I would draw anywhere from 2 to 4 people. I can't remember exactly how many people I said. I'll have to rewatch my own video to find out. We'll choose that many people, and then I'll get in touch with you through email, and we'll go from there. So, I used to live in Texas. When I first got out of the Marine Corps, I moved to Texas, I got married, and I started working at a bank. It was a sweet little gig. It was an indoor gig, so I couldn't complain about any of that. It was cool in the summer, warm in the winter, and the pay wasn't too bad. I lived in a little apartment, my wife and I, ex-wife now, but at any rate, we lived in a little apartment, and one morning I got up to go to work, and as I was going downstairs and going around the corner to go to my vehicle, I noticed that something had run up underneath my vehicle. I didn't exactly know what it was at first. I thought it was a cat or something. And so as I got around to the driver's side of my vehicle, I kind of peeked under there, and there was a little squirrel. And I didn't want to run over it. You know, I didn't want to hurt the thing. So I kind of, you know, I was like, get out of here, you know, trying to get it out from underneath the car so I wouldn't run it over. And it had come closer to me, close to the driver's side door, and I backed up just a little bit because I didn't want it to get scared back under the car. So I backed up a little bit, trying to coax it to come out, and as soon as it came out from underneath the car, you know, I was going to try to run it off. That way it wouldn't go back under my car and get run over. Well, sure enough, it came out from underneath my car. And as soon as it had come out far enough that I knew that if I approached it, it wouldn't dart back under the car, I scooted closer to the car and I stomped at it a couple of times, you know, like shoo, shoo, to try to run it off further away from my vehicle. But this little booger, instead of being afraid of me, it bowed up. It got into this like tail up, back end up, forward down, bulldog stance looked at me right in my eyes, and then leapt at me. I have never, I don't think, even in Iraq, having people shooting at me, bombs going off, I don't think I was ever that afraid. That sucker made me scream like I have never screamed before. Neighbors were laughing, and I'm a little upset by it. Anyway, it darts at me and it stops right at my feet and kind of like hops onto my ankle and then bounces off and takes off. Luckily, I didn't run over it or anything like that. It took off and I got back in my vehicle, and it was one of like a horror movie. As soon as it was gone far enough, I run to my door, open it up, jump in and slam the door, like hoping that it's not in the back seat or something. I come to find out it was a pet. Not so much a pet as in somebody owned it, but people would feed it, and it got to where it was very comfortable with people. And I guess squirrels are aggressive animals. You can actually go on YouTube and find videos of them eating other animals, and so they're kind of a vicious little creature. I've got one here. These pine trees, when these green pine cones are on the tree well before they open up, I've got 2 squirrels that I know of. I've probably got more, but I've got 2 squirrels that I know of that will get the pine cones, the green pine cones, and they break those things open and eat the pine nuts out of it in preparation for winter. And then they drop what I call them, I call them pine cobs, because they look like a corn cob, but they're the pine cones. And they leave them scattered all over my yard. I talked to my attorney, but you can't really sue a wild animal, unfortunately. I'm just kidding. But anyway, so they're kind of a terroristic animal. I agree with Jojo Piper. You can see one of his videos, his recent videos. He calls them domestic terrorists, because they've got Jojo's number. And that day, that one had my number as well. Anyway, quick story for you guys. That's going to do it for this episode of Full Dottle. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And until the next time we see each other, I bid you farewell and happy piping. Bye, everyone. Have you enlisted in the Full Dottle platoon yet? It's easy. Just click the subscribe button. Also, hit the bell icon to be notified as soon as I upload the next episode.